This is Houston. Say again, please.
Houston, we've had a problem.
Hey there folks, and welcome to this Friday vlog. It's been a while since we did it on a Friday with all the live streaming I was doing. So a little break from the live streaming at the minute, so I thought I would do my vlog on a Friday just like before. And I have a couple of things to talk about. One of which is quite exciting. Well, for me, as my little channel grows, I've had a couple of conversations with you guys with regards to LLC in particular was asking about it. This new RPG that's coming out called Kingdom Come Deliverance, and we've all kind of been wondering a bit more about it. We've seen a little bit of gameplay footage, and I think we're all kind of curious to see just how good it is, just how big the world is, just how good the combat is, all this sort of stuff. So I had been thinking for quite a while about approaching devs and game companies about getting review copies for the channel, because it seems to be something that is quite popular for YouTubers bigger than me to be showing off games, you know, a week, few days in advance or whatever, to give people an idea of the game and to give people, you know, I mean, it's all kinds of media get these review copies, and it's publicity for them more than it's anything else as well. So I was curious as to whether or not it was something I could get going on the channel, and I've always been a little bit shy of approaching them because of the size of my channel. So when my channel hit 1,000 subs, it sort of dawned on me that maybe I was at a point where I could approach somebody and do it. And Kingdom Come was was a prime opportunity for me to approach a company, mainly because I knew that they weren't like a massive dev and they might be looking for the extra push on the game, the extra publicity, and they'd be sort of a smaller organisation, easier to communicate with or something. I don't know, it might be nothing like that. The big companies might be just the same. But I thought it was a good way to maybe try. I mean, what's the worst that could happen is that they say no, isn't it? So I got in touch with Warhorse Studios, I think they're called, who are the developers themselves, and they had on the website had a place to email. So I emailed that, and the guy was a really nice bloke, got back to me within half an hour saying, "Oh, thanks for reaching out. We've not quite got to the review point yet, but this company is going to be taking care of the marketing and the review stuff. So if you get in touch with them," and gave me a contact. So I forwarded that to the contact that he gave me a number of days later, actually, because I was like, all right, okay, and I wasn't sure what to do at that point. So I thought, what the hell, I'll forward it on and see what they say. And within about half an hour of emailing them, I'd emailed a guy who he'd given me the name of. He'd obviously passed it on to someone who deals with it more appropriately. And this girl got back to me, and she said, it was actually quite nice, because the way that the response email came back in was like, oh, you know, they were almost as excited that that I was asking them as the other way around. So, and it was kind of, it was one of those sort of small world moments as well, because the girl who got back to me was like, oh, it's good to see a YouTuber streaming in Blackpool and what have you. She goes, I'm from Polton Le Fylde, and that's literally just round the corner from me. So where my gym is, in fact, just up the road. So, yeah, that's not where the studio is, but that's where she's from. So it was a dead nice sort of immediate friendly conversation. And she'd obviously checked out the YouTube site to make sure I was, you know, a legit option. And they were delighted to put me on the media list, which has been, I mean, I was absolutely made up. So that means, people, that I will be able to bring, all going to plan, I will be able to bring you Kingdom Come Deliverance for a Let's Play before launch. So I'm hoping that, I don't know how long that'll be before launch. It could be a couple of days, it could be a week, I don't know. She said that they would most likely be getting the review copies in about the 7th, I think she said, or the 8th, and the game's out on like the 13th or something, so there's not a huge gap of time there anyway. So, but I am hoping to be able to bring that to you at least a few days in advance, so you guys can make up your mind as to whether or not you want to go for it, if it's the kind of thing you're going to want to play, or if you just want to see me play through it. And the channel itself will obviously continue to publicize the game forevermore, that I have the channel up, so it's always going to be free advertising for them. And I said to them, look, it doesn't matter to me, I've got PS4 Pro and Xbox One X, so whichever suits you the best, just send me that. I think by what she was saying, PlayStation always seems to be... Well, it is. We all know that the PlayStation sold a stupid amount of PS4s. So I'm more than happy to show off on the Xbox One X, which is most likely the one that I'm going to get. And we'll see what it looks like and see how it plays. So I'm dead stoked for that. We have to remember with this game, now, some of you will have noticed that I put up a new trailer, because what happened was I hit the reason that trailer went up last night was because that was yesterday that all of this happened, with getting the review copy and stuff, or getting accepted to get the review copy. And by the way, on that front, I asked her, is it a physical copy or a code? Not that it matters either way, but she said that just in case anyone's curious, she said that they get a number of each, so they get a number of physical copies and a number of codes. So it just depends on how they're dished out as to what I'll get. So I don't know whether if you go for the digital, if you're given a digital copy, it might be quicker than waiting for it in the mail. I don't know, but it's a company down south, so it's not like it's coming very far. It'll only be a day's mail, so I'm not sure which I'm going to get. But the reason that I got that clip up on the channel last night was because all of that happened yesterday, and because I'm on the media list, I get emails about the stuff that they're publicising within the gaming world. I mean, today I got something with regards to Nintendo Switch, which is obviously something I don't do. So that clip with Kingdom Come was a brand new clip that came out, and they'd emailed me a place to download it from as a legit media source to be able to show it off, which is why I put it there. So I'll continue to do that as I approach companies, and hopefully others will say yes and they put me on the media list and I get that sort of stuff in. I'll continue to bring you that and show you it on the channel. I did notice almost immediately, like before any likes came in, there was three dislikes on that video, and it was a bit, I don't know, well, I'm assuming it wasn't anything to do with me, but I don't know whether it was because, I mean, I'm assuming it's because the people that gave it the thumbs down aren't keen on what they've seen of the game. I mean, that's all I can assume. I'm not, this is kind of a side conversation, because much as though it's fine, I understand why the dislike button is there. I kind of wish that it wasn't there just as a button down click. I wish it kind of came with a compulsory feedback why you didn't like it, because it's a little bit ambiguous, and I think most YouTubers just ignore it because they're like, well, I'm going to get some thumbs downs, and unless the thumbs downs are greater than the thumbs ups, it's never going to make any difference. So it kind of becomes a pointless thing, because it's like, well, I got 2 thumbs downs and 10 thumbs ups, and that's nearly always the case of that balance. But I never know why the thumbs downs are there. Was it because they didn't like what I did? Was it because they didn't like the game that I was playing? Is it because they didn't, for last night, for example, is it because they don't like the game? Or is it because they don't like the fact I posted up a clip and not something else, or streamed, or, so as someone that's bringing you content, I don't, just because someone hits a thumbs down, I don't know what it is that I would need to change to make that person not give me a thumbs down. Do you know what I mean? But that said, it doesn't mean that there is always room for knowing whether someone likes or dislikes the game, whether they want you to not continue it or whatever. But for every person that doesn't like that game, I'll be doing a game that they do like, with a bit of luck. So it's just a little bit of an ambiguous thing, the thumbs down thing. And when I put the video up, and honestly, within 10 minutes there was 3 thumbs downs on it, which I don't think I've seen 3 thumbs downs on any of my videos for a really long time. And so I can only assume that it's because they don't like the look of the game. But I think, we have to remember that this game, it looks like a AAA title that's coming out, and it isn't. This is not a AAA title. It's a big RPG that's been made by a small dev team that's been put together by a guy that used to work for a bigger company, I think, and he sort of set up his own little studio. But this is a crowd-funded game. You have to look at it in the same respect that you look at Divinity and Pillars of Eternity and stuff like that. You can't look at it like Skyrim. It's not going to be like that. I mean, it is going to be a big world. but it's not going to be anywhere near as well. I'm I don't know this for a fact, right? So I haven't seen, all I've seen is the footage that you've seen. So don't go into this thinking that you're going to get a AAA title, because it's not. But that doesn't mean you're not going to get a AAA experience to a point. So you have to go in with the same understanding. What I'm hoping that brings us, though, is that it brings us, and they've been, excuse me, they've kind of been pushing the fact that this is more than just an action RPG. It's a proper RPG. They keep saying that it's a proper RPG where you're going to be living and breathing in that world and visiting villages and picking up herbs and making potions and all this sorts of stuff in first person. Now, whether or not the combat is as addictive or as nice as we want it to be, that's only one aspect of this game. And this game, if it's like any of these other type of European type made games, I'm really hoping it brings that sort of European vibe to it, because that's the very things that Arcania brought me, that Divinity brought me. Pillars of Eternity, I think, might have been a European dev. I could be wrong though. I hope that that sort of Arcania type vibe is caught in that game, because that kind of thing is lost in AAA titles. Like you don't really get that vibe from AAA titles. It's always very Americanized and very cool and slick. Like you don't get that grittiness. I mean, the only gritty RPG that I've seen of recent times would have been The Witcher, that had that sort of AAA version of that grittiness. Didn't give a shit what it was doing. Like, it was going to swear, it was going to curse, it was going to have blood everywhere, it was going to have really horrible creatures and witches and body things flying. I mean, body parts flying. I mean, that is the sort of pinnacle of what that sort of thing can be. But there's always a really nice vibe that comes with those sort of Nordic type game developer type things, I know they're not Nordic, I think they're Russian, but you know what I mean, that European type thing. So I'm hoping that that's what that game's going to bring me. I agree with other people. The combat that I've seen didn't look overly exciting, but we have to, until you sit and play in it, you're not going to know how exciting it is. Some things aren't exciting to watch, but they're exciting to play. So, we have to give it the benefit of the doubt. I can understand people if they've got a hesitation on buying it on day one, and that's hopefully what I can bring you with the review copy, is bring you whether or not to do it. So I'm really excited that I'm going to be getting this review copy, and I'm really made up and chuffed that they saw my channel as a fit and suitable place to designate one of those review copies too. So I'm really made up and I'm chuffed about it, and it's all thanks to you guys for sticking with me and making the channel, bringing the channel a massive audience for them to show the game off too. I mean, I said in my email to them, I said, look, I've got a channel of just gone over 1,000 people, and predominantly, if not all of these people, are massive RPG fans. So they obviously see it as a place that they can show their game off. So I'm really chuffed and happy about it, and I will keep you updated with any... I'll post up any of the media that they send me, because I think, obviously some of you are interested in it, if not a lot of you, and I'll keep posting that stuff up, and I'll let you know the minute I get a copy and let you know when I'm going to be showing it off. So mega stoked about all of that. Just quick, that's really the biggest point of this vlog. Just quickly wanted to go into why Subnautica came out of the blue, and before I do, I'm going to say cheers, everybody. Flagons on a Friday, right? I got a hard time, eh? Somebody gave me a hard time. You know who you are for not showing off me flagon last time. Thank you. Nobody wants to see a man showing off his flagon. Cheers, everybody. So, yes, I wanted to just talk a little bit about where Subnautica sort of appeared from nowhere on. I didn't even know this game existed until Jamie, who joins in with some of our live streams, and who I used to work with, and he's now moved further down south to a different university. He brought that to my attention via email, saying this is it's just been released on preview on the Xbox One. It's been on the PC for a while, and it's really cool, and he obviously was keen to see what I thought of it, so I thought, I'll go and have a look and see how much it is. And it was only $15.99 because it's still in preview mode. And I did a similar thing with We Happy Few, is that what it was called? I've still got that as well, which is, I need to give that another go at some point, because that's been developed the hell out of since I first got the preview copy. But I will automatically get a full copy once it's finished because I bought the preview copy. But I digress. So I for $15.99, I thought, yeah, hell with it, let's have a go. And by all accounts, when I read up on it, it was basically saying, look, it's No Man's Sky underwater, but it's got a lot of things right that No Man's Sky didn't at the beginning. And, and actually, just on the side note of that, No Man's Sky, I mean, Jason left a comment today saying that he thought that No Man's Sky got way more hate than it should have done. And I absolutely agree. I think that game was actually fine. There was a couple of things that they said were going to be in it that weren't fine, but on the whole, it was because PlayStation punted that game. That was an indie game that PlayStation basically just put their arms around it and said, you're ours, and then started punting it as a AAA title. And it wasn't a AAA title. And then if they'd released that game at 25 quid, or like they've done with Subnautica at $15.99 preview level, people would not have grumbled about that game because it was what it was. It was an indie game that made itself bigger. But to push it out at, 45 quid or whatever it was at the time, I think it was near on 50 quid. Anywhere you tried to buy it, it was like, people would, and then people that had bought it were like, hang on a minute, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. So I wasn't surprised that people were cheesed off, but the game didn't deserve the kind of hate that it got, because it is, I played the beginning of it just on my son's copy, and I had bought a copy a couple of months ago because I saw it for 10 quid, so I bought it, I've got it. I will do it, whether I do some on the channel or not, I don't know, but I thought I would get it anyway. There's been a multitude of updates for it. But anyway, I digress once again, but that game's certainly got far more hate than it deserved. I don't think it deserved any hate, really. I think it was just punted in an extremely wrong way by Sony. Should have been 25 quid all round and everyone would have been happy. So, but anyway, yeah, so it is basically that. And those of you that have watched the footage that I put up last night, I did an hour and a half off screen, and then I was going to put that up actually because I recorded it. But as I was playing it, I was fumbling around all over the place trying to figure it out, and it wasn't a really interesting watch. And I thought, no, I'll do it from the beginning again and show you guys what it's about, because I don't think it's the sort of game where you want to see someone fumbling about at the beginning like that. I think it's more interesting when someone knows what to do, what to pick up, and kind of pushes the progress on. And we did that within the hour that I did last night. I mean, we were so much further forward than we were in that hour and a half that I did the night before. It was ridiculous. And the only thing we didn't have was cave sulfur, which is going to give us the ability to make the repair tool, which will then repair the radio and other things. And that pushes us, I think, story-wise into the story. It's got really high praise for its story, this game. So don't look at that and think that's the game, because it's a huge part of the game. But the game is very story driven. There's a lot more to the crafting. You've got to build, new bases. You've got to go on the big ship that's broken. You go and wonder about that. There's loads of, and the thing that was getting a lot of attention was the fact that it's so scary, because you're not a fighting machine underwater. Like when you get to you've got little things that you can use on the smaller creatures, but when you get the big creatures, like, you just got to hide from them. And you've got to get through their areas without getting caught by them and stuff, because you cannot take them on. So it becomes really intense. So I'm really looking forward to sort of pushing that forward more. I think I won't do like a proper full Let's Play on it. I think I will record as I'm going, and I'll cut it right back so that it's, the interesting elements of it for you. So that'll be coming soon. But the reason it came out of nowhere was literally because Jamie recommended it, and I looked it up, thought, yeah, $15.99, let's go for it. And I tell you what, I mean, I don't know how interesting it was to watch, and that was, I suppose, the more boring aspect of the game, is just me wandering around picking stuff up. It's quite interesting to see what you can build with the stuff, though. But when you're doing it yourself, it's really addictive. Like, oh, I want to make that. I want to make that. I want to make this. How do I get the tank? How do I get the torch? It was all flashlight. So when you're playing it, it's really addictive. I mean, it is a really addictive game, and it's a beautiful environment. Like, there's something just so soothing about that water environment, the noise, all the creatures bouncing around. It was really, really cool. I was really surprised at how much I liked it, actually. So I'm really looking forward to playing it all week. Well, since Jamie mentioned it, was Wednesday, I think. I've just been wanting to get stuck in, and even after I did the hour and a half, which I knew I was going to dump, I just wanted to do it again and do it right. And then after last night's, I just want to crack in and get it pushed on, so we can progress. Because that little area we're in is just a tiny piece of it. I mean, there's so much there's so much sea there, people, and we've got to get to the ship, and we've got to build our other bases and build our submersibles, our little water buggies and all this malarkey. So really, really, really stoked for it. So I'm hoping that came across as something that might be of interest to other people, because it is a really, really cool game. And if you look at the reviews anywhere for that, they're getting really strong reviews for it. It's really good. So yeah, I couldn't be happier that Jamie recommended that to me. So thank you, Jamie. Shout out to you, sir. And that is it, people. That is all I had to ramble on about this Friday evening. I hope you're all having a Friday evening like mine and enjoying a flagging. I'm going to show it to you twice, just because I got a hard time last week for not showing it off. So there you are. You know who you are. Cheers to you all. I hope you all have a cracking weekend. I should be bringing you... what am I bringing you? There'll be a Dragon Age Origins Part 4B, which you've already watched the 4A for. That episode, the reason it was a 4A and 4B was because I recorded the whole... the Lothering just didn't end. I was like, oh, I'm nearly there. And I just kept going. I thought I really wanted to finish Lothering off in that one section. So rather than post up a 2-hour video, which was just crazy, I cut it in two and just divided it into an A and a B. So I think it makes more sense than making a 4 and a 5, that was all. So it's been ready since the other one was, but I wanted to post up the Subnautica video last night, so I'll post up the 4B after I've posted this up, so that you know that it's coming. And I will be doing more Dark Souls, I'll be doing more Bloodborne, I'll be doing more of all the other things I was doing, Fallout 4 and... Dead Space and all the... I did this last time. Forget what I'm doing, people. There's so many. And Subnautica and all of these things. So, it has, as always, been an honour and a privilege serving for you in this vlog this Friday evening. And I will see you all soon. Take it easy. Bye.